And we are live once again, folks. You are about to witness the strength of collector knowledge. This is Jesse here at JLS Comics, and we are back with Season 2 of Comic Conversation. Great to be back. We had a sort of a hiatus, right? It was a month and a half, almost 2 months. But here we are again, ready to fire it up for this fall season here. So ready to go with this. We got some cool things to talk about tonight. Of course, Walking Dead, Doctor Strange is right around the corner. So we definitely have to talk about that. And what we're going to do actually is do some, we do this on the show every time a big movie comes out for Marvel or DC or, any of those, opening weekend predictions. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to have a fun little contest with it, too. So if you're watching, if you're in the chat, definitely throw up your number. Not yet. Wait till we get there. But we're also going to talk about some other stuff, too. Like Monsters Unleashed and, some other cool stuff. The panel's got some good ideas as well. So let's first reintroduce ourselves and kind of say what we've been doing since the last time we all got together, which was, a little while ago. So let's start with Mr. Buckshot 33, BostonChris.
Hey, what's going on? Good applause. It's great to be back and happy to have the show back on. As far as for me, I've just been kind of, just doing my thing, collecting comics, having some fun, picking up some back issues here and there, just kind of hopping on, where I can and discussing comics. That's pretty much been my whole deal for, as far as comics are concerned. Very excited for Doctor Strange. I'm excited for, Walking Dead. Just, really, really fun time to be a comic fan. Oh, I'm also excited for Halloween. Love Halloween. So, just right now, this time of year, I think it's a, great time to have the show come back.
Awesome. More applause. There we go. All right. So let's go right down the line. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Edwin, how's it going? Welcome back.
Yeah, I had to get my my dress, so I didn't want to forget this. Okay. No, I picked this up for my niece. So she's like 5 or 6. So I figure why not get her off to an early start?
It'd be a little tight on you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a little tight, but no, things have been good. We started our live chat with Justin, ExileState Comics. He's joined us. We got about 5 more episodes left, and we're gonna, this guy over here. We're gonna wrap it up in about 5 more episodes, and that's it. I've been on this trade gig. I got this right here, nice, for like $2.
Good start.
That's a family trade. I got this Captain America trade for like $6.50. I got this for like $6, and I got this for like $2. So I've been on kind of a trade kick, which I kind of like because you get all the stories and the comics without spending all the ridiculous prices, and then you can feel special like everybody else since they know everything and I don't. So, but thanks for having me, Jesse. Glad to be here, man.
All right, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. There you go. Finally figuring out the effects thing, so I'm proud of myself. All right, Justin. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, it's good to be back. I think it was good. We took a look, a season break, got everybody kind of refreshed. There's a lot of news hitting out and coming out, especially like Chris said, I'm really excited for Doctor Strange once it comes out. I know that each preview of that's just gotten better and better and better. Also, Edwin Iculus said that pink is your color. So.
Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that.
Yep. So just normal hauls coming out, reading everything that's coming out as best I can, trying to keep up with stuff and trying to trim the fat still as we go forward.
Yes, I know that all too well. There's your applause. So I've been really busy myself. I just did an annual tent sale for my comic shop. I don't know if you saw in one of my last videos. I called it the Monster Haul, but just not because it was full of monsters, but just it was big. It was cool tent sale. It was fun to go to, and that was a long ass haul video. It was like almost an hour. So did that. Went on a trip. That was cool. Saw a neat shop up there that had a lot of cool comic books, and they also had goats. So it's pretty interesting combination there. Like you're digging through the box and you look up and there's some like goats and chickens outside. So it was very unique shop.
Yeah.
Well, it was part of like I guess a farm sort of, and they have like a bunch of other stuff attached to it.
I watched the video.
Okay, so you saw the animals. There was a steak too, by the way. But anyways, I did, because of all that, I got a little bit behind, so I went and picked up my books. I think it was a couple days ago, and I had a stack like this. So I have a ton of reading. I haven't even, like, sometimes when I get my books and they're stacked up so much, I'm like, I don't even want to touch it. It's just like a daunting task knowing I have to read through all those. So I haven't touched any of them yet. So I haven't read like Reborn, for example. I have it sitting over there. I just haven't read it. So
it's a quick read. How do you do that though? Like, say, I mean, just a random question as we kind of get going. You're going into the shop. You haven't been there for a couple weeks. You got a big stack. How do you prioritize what you read?
Oh, geez. Well, there are certain titles that, depending on how the last issue ended, I'm really excited to go for. So I'll probably go for those. And lately, they've been the independent book. So I'll probably read, Black Monday Murders. I have issue 2 and 3 to read. And Paper Girls will probably be the third one. And then I'll probably get into like Old Man Logan or maybe the Gwenpool. I have a couple of those. So there's no like, definitive way I prioritize. It's just whatever happened to have piqued my interest at that time. So
right, you're like, ooh, this one's got a cool cover. What's going on in here?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Shiny.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to show you guys this.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
If you guys were watching, yeah, there you go. Look, White Mountain Comics is here. That's the shop I was at. Farm comic shop, 4x4 park. They got everything. So they got like monster trucks and stuff. It's pretty dope. So if you're ever up in that area in the White Mountains, check that place out. It's
the White Mountains of New Hampshire.
Yep.
Get the hell out of here. Was that not
You're not too far from there. Yeah. It's in Rumney, New Hampshire.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, oh man. All right, I'm going to have to take, next time I go up to the White Mountains, I'm going to take a trip. I'm like, all right, we're going to this shop right here. Look for the monster trucks on the farm.
That's right. Take a trip, man. Buy some books from them too. Last season we ended with Sam. Well, wait, no, it wasn't the last one, was it? It was one of the last episodes. We had Sam De La Rosa on, right? Mm-hmm. And I got this in the mail, so I just wanted to show it to you guys. Beautiful.
That is nice, man. Who sent you that?
It was this guy who was from Texas. Shoot. No, it was you, man. Of course it was you. Absolute credit for that. It showed up at the perfect time, right? We ended, one of the last seasons with talking to the guy who made this, and it shows up. So I thought it was a good way to sort of bridge the gap from last season.
Jesse, since you point that out, I think that you're seeing a good friendship still between artists, because I don't think that Sam has done any work with Mark Bagley in quite a while. So I think Mark Bagley kind of just threw that together for him. And then Sam, of course, inked it, and I think he's using it obviously as posters to sell.
Nice.
I love it. You showed me some pictures of it, and I picked it out, but it's even better in person. So,
well, you're very welcome, man. My pleasure.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Very cool. All right, so let's get into a couple of the topics that we had. First up, I guess we'll talk about some Walking Dead. That's coming back very soon, right? Of course, we're wondering who Negan takes the bat to. Who does Lucille kill? But also today I just read there. How there was a web series, miniseries.
Yeah.
It was Fear the Walking Dead, Flight 462, right? There's another one. They're going to do another one. It's called Passage. It's a 16-part mini web series. So that's coming up, and I'm wondering who may, because there was that one girl, I forget her name. She kind of went over to one of the other series, right? The main TV show series. So maybe there'll be a character from this one. Maybe. But anyways,
are they going to do it the same way, you think? Where, because the Flight one, they showed it like during the commercials.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. No, I think this will be posted I think that's what they did with that one too. They put each episode online, and then once it got later in the series, just to introduce it to people, because they were going to introduce that character, they started putting it like in the middle of the commercials. I think that's how it. Yeah, but it started online, which is where this is going to be too. So, but I'm curious. There's been talk, rumors, speculation, a lot of things about who actually gets killed. So,
yeah,
want to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a very strong possibility, and I say that because, I mean, if you look at everybody who's got an idea, it seems like everybody on the entire show is getting smacked with that bat, and just like my thoughts, I really do think that it's Glenn. I think they're gonna stay close to the comic, and it's gonna be Glenn that goes away. But it's hard to tell. I mean, just because a lot of people make good arguments for a lot of different people. People have shown just all these different videos of different angles. Saying that like this blood splatter here means that this guy got it instead of that guy. How come that this body, like the way that this is shown. So it's tough because I mean they make a good case for a few different people, but I say it's going to be Glenn.
Okay, it's a good choice. How about you guys?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I am far behind, but they don't stay too far off from the comic book series. They just kind of tweak and switch things up a little bit. But I think Chris makes a good point. If you think about it, who was the blonde chick that was a sharpshooter? Was Angela, or what was her name? The one that died in
Andrea.
Andrea. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even see that coming. I'm thinking like she's gonna live for a while because is she still alive in the comics? She's gone on for quite a while, and nobody saw that coming. So,
I'm not sure if she's still alive in the comics. I would venture to say probably not, because they kill a lot of people in the comics.
Yeah,
they do.
But it could be anybody. But I think it could be Glenn for sure.
Okay, good choice.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's not Glenn. Like I think, I mean, if that happens, what's Maggie gonna do? Maggie's just gonna kill herself.
I mean,
yeah, she is.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say just because I mean they've said a lot of different stuff like that.
I know, but she lost all of her family recently, and now she's pregnant too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
that would make it really horrible if he went for Maggie.
I think it's going to be Abraham.
But
I think that actor's got another show to do.
See, and that's what I've been hearing too. I've heard a lot of really, really good speculation as to why it could be Abraham. So, it's tough to say. That I think the only person that really, truly, honestly is safe, or the only people, is Michonne, Rick, Kyle, and Daryl. I think those are the untouchables on that show, at least for right now. So, I don't know. I mean, looking forward to it just because it's good to have the show back. It's you don't think about it until it's gone, and then it's just like, damn, it's like all that time. Kind of like with Game of Thrones, just like Game of Thrones. Once it's over, it's over, and you don't get it for another year. Oh, actually, was it a year?
Longer than a year this time,
yeah.
So it's definitely going to be. Oh, all right. So Jackie said in the chat that Andrea is still alive in the comics. So, yeah, I guess they're kind of wild cards on that show sometimes because they do happen to kill some people that are kind of still going, and then there's other people that they just bring in and let them live longer than they should. So, it's definitely going to be a something to watch. I guarantee the ratings are going to be huge. Just because they've done a great job, hyping it up. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
this one's.
I think
definitely gonna break some records.
Yeah, absolutely. Abraham is definitely a good possibility. I know he's overdue for a killing, right? For a death.
I wish they had a poll. Like you just everybody vote and just get the numbers.
Yeah. Vote him off the island.
Yeah, like they did with Jason Todd.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody call this number if you want Robin to die.
But in that last teaser where Negan was like talking to him, there was a little clip of, and I don't remember where I saw it, but it was the dirt in front of them, and somebody like zoomed in.
Yep.
You probably saw it, right, Chris? And
Yep,
there was a wedding ring, right?
Mhm.
And then they had next to it a screenshot of, and I guess they used Maggie's hand, and it looked like the exact same wedding ring
Yeah.
in her hand. So I was thinking maybe Maggie, but it would make sense that Glenn would have the same ring, right? So
Yeah, but that would be rough. I mean, if you're really looking for shock value, kill a woman who's pregnant. Woo! You not only will you have people shocked on the show, you're gonna have so much backlash from everybody. They killed a pregnant lady. My God! Like, oh man, if you want to make an impact, that's how you do it.
yep. That's a good way to piss Rick off, and that's a good way to get millions of viewers tuning in.
Absolutely.
To find out what's going on, right?
But
So
we'll have to see, though. Definitely have to tune in.
right. So we're gonna take the opening weekend predictions. Do you guys want to do death predictions?
Yeah. I mean, if you want.
That sounds really morbid, but it is close to Halloween. Why not?
So,
Sounds about right.
is that gonna be like a
All
weekly
right.
thing? Like, oh, this week this guy's going away. We'll have our own like little odds and ends. Like 2-1, he's going. Trust me.
Yeah. Who's on the board this week? What are the odds?
I'll start working on a spreadsheet for it. We can
Right.
plot it out. All right. So Chris, you're saying Glenn?
I'm saying Glenn. I think he's all done.
All right. And Edwin, you said Abraham, right? Abe.
I'm gonna take a stab at Abraham. No pun intended. Yeah, I'm gonna take him.
All right. And then Justin, you said
Abraham.
Abraham. Okay. Oh yeah, we are. Nicola said we're doing a Deadpool.
Yes,
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
are.
pretty much.
I said
That's
in the
what
chat,
we'll call it.
when I was saying that, I tried so hard not to say yes. So it's going to have a Deadpool. I'm like,
That's exactly what it
That's what it is.
is. I'm sorry, you said Abraham, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We're actually split here because I'm going with Glenn too.
woo!
Yeah, so we're 2 for Glenn, 2 for Abraham.
What if it's oh my gosh, dude with the mullet?
Oh. Nah,
Chad,
The guy, the scientist guy, the one who claims he knows the secret.
the fake scientist guy?
yeah, the guy who showed up with Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's because in the books he has a purpose. He makes the bullets.
A porpoise?
A purpose.
Oh,
He actually, he makes the bullets. You know, like he's the ammunition guy.
oh
But
yeah,
they don't.
he's
They
like,
don't really.
yeah, but he showed there was a scene where they like had the factory and he showed Rick. He's like, if I die, this is how you do it. He taught him how to the process.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
So
Eugene. Jackie said it. Eugene.
That's it, Eugene. Yep.
Yeah.
he's expendable. Now that they know about the factory.
But I was thinking at first, I really was thinking Abraham because they focused on him towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And really tried to make him like a, kind of get in depth with him, help you sympathize with him, and kind of like, make you care for the character.
Mhm.
And that's usually a sign that they're going to knock somebody off, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I would say those two are safe bets. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat have any outside
Everybody-
speculation?
well, Icarus says they could do Hall a favor and kill Kyle if he's still around.
But then Rick wouldn't get to scream Carl every episode. Carl, stay in the car.
yeah.
Everybody hates Kyle.
But then he can do the con. Carl.
Mm-hmm.
What about this? What if they just recast Kyle to somebody better that fans I guess can like and appreciate? Because everybody hates Kyle for some reason.
And
hate that
don't say anything about it like the Becky switch on Roseanne years ago.
Yeah. Just I was like,
Yeah. Just swap them out.
like for some
nobody
reason,
knows.
Kyle is really cool and awesome. It's just like, what happened? Like, oh, when they got a new actor to play him, like they didn't say anything, like they didn't need to. Now we like Kyle.
It could be a what is it, a life model decoy?
Yeah, or a pirate since he's got the patch. They could just bring in like some old salty pirate to play Carl. That'd be awesome.
But if you kill Carl, what does Rick do? Does he just off himself or what?
No, because he's still got Judith.
Yeah, Rick is
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
The baby that never cries.
Yeah,
The quietest baby in the history of the world.
I mean, shit. When you got zombies running around trying to eat you, you got to be a little quiet.
It's like they're
Yeah,
feeding
really.
her whiskey. It's like every time you see that baby drinking something, it's got to be whiskey to keep her that quiet. Jeez.
Drunk baby.
Yeah.
Sleep baby.
I remember I was like 9 or 10, and I went to this place to get a haircut, and I had a cold, so I kept like sneezing or something. And the barber, every time I did that, he was like, "You want a shot of whiskey?" And I'm like 10 years old.
What?
I said no, but it's just
It'll clear you up.
yeah, clear your
That's funny.
sinuses, right? Yeah.
So can I ask a question real quick? Because there was a question that was presented on Comic Book Fanatics. Somebody had posted a Walking Dead #1, and they said that The Walking Dead has been predicted to go on for many years. They're thinking like 5 to 7 more years. And, you know, if you're already at Negan up to season #6,
Yeah.
how much more material do you think they have, or can they scrounge up to go on for 5 or 7 more years? Because me personally, I don't even think it could be done. And plus, it's already been reported that Robert Kirkman actually has an ending for. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but he actually does have an ending for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question because I mean, if they're up to Negan, that's issue 100. You know, at the point that where they're at, so it's just like, you know, they're gonna end up being basically going to. Well, they're at 159 in the comics, so it's just like, you know, I mean, maybe it's gonna be like a slow burn, or they're gonna, you know, basically introduce their own stories for a little bit, you know, and incorporate them into the show, you know, with the comic. Because I mean, if they've taken, was it 6 years to get to, you know, issue 100, then I mean, doing the math, it would only be about like 3.5 to get to, you know, where they are right now. So,
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it all depends on how deep the book. I mean, 3.5 more years of the book wouldn't be too bad because that's like what, 45 issues or something like that, something close. So, I mean, it would kind of give them about that same spacing. So, but you're saying potentially 7 more years of the show.
I don't know if that's a good idea. You know, a lot of times they drag a show out a season or two too long, and you know,
Yeah.
I think it was George. He said, "End on a high note."
If it goes another 7 years, at the end of it, it's not going to look anything like the show that we're seeing right now, because there's no way Andrew Lincoln is signing on for 7 more years of a TV show.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no way.
yeah, that, and then the fact that, you know, I mean, after you have to hope that stays hot for 7 years. I mean, because what would be terrible is, you know, you sign on for 7 years and it's only good for 2 more seasons, and then, you know, you don't have the ratings and just have to cancel it, and it just ends off. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you can tell it was supposed to go further, but it's just like, nope, we just had to cut it off here, and that was it.
Yeah. Although if it does go 7 years, they really could swap Carl out for an old pirate.
Oh yeah,
really could.
definitely.
I mean, you never know. They could do, you know, in between one of the seasons, if, you know, say Andrew Lincoln's contract's up, blah, 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 but they want to make next season, they do a time hop.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, 10 years later, we're still killing dead things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? I feel like the zombies are going to end up taking a back seat, really. It's going to be more about the, you know, just different relationships and different, you know, just a different, you know, human relationships between, you know, conflicts they can get into. Just because, I mean, really, honestly, like, even looking at it, the zombies, even now, aren't. I mean, they're always a threat, but they're you know, they're not the main threat anymore. Now it's just like the different people you run into, that's a threat, because it's just like some, you know, like the governor was sadistic. Negan is clearly sadistic. It's just like you have a bunch of people that are out there that are just, I mean, straight out evil because they're so warped, and just, you know, the world is just such a different place.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this point, the zombies are more of just like livestock or animals at this point. You know that animal is going to attack you if it gets near you, so you just stay away from it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they figured them out to the point where they can herd them around. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Justin, you bring up a good point, though. I mean, Andrew Lincoln to sign on for 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 more years, that would be quite a stretch, I think, even for him. I mean, who wants to be? I think he's already going to be defined as Rick.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, would you really want to do that for 5 or 7 more years?
Yeah. Like, what if you want to be Julius Caesar sometime? Like,
Right.
that's not Julius Caesar.
Or he wanted to go back and make Love Actually too.
Yeah. Bernthal left the show and went on to be Punisher, so who knows what
Yeah.
Luke will go on to be.
Yeah, you got to
that's a
figure
good
like
question.
everybody's wanting to leave because they're like, wait, I can get a Marvel deal or a DC deal.
Well, could you imagine
exactly.
him? I mean, what character could you see him being in the Marvel?
Richard Rider.
So you think he'd be a good? You think he'd be a good Nova?
Yeah.
Okay, but when you look at Jon Bernthal, do you still see Shane or do you see the Punisher?
I see the Punisher. Like, there's
I see
nothing
the
of Shane
Punisher
left
now.
anymore.
They're
Oh, yeah?
very similar characters. Because it's him and it's his mannerisms and stuff. So I see the same character, but I really like what he did with the Punisher. I was tired of Shane and ready for Shane to die.
Yeah.
When he died. I was like, just get rid of him.
Here's a question for you guys, and maybe a transition to something. All right, so you have Jon Bernthal as the Punisher. He said he could, his version of the Punisher could kick Batman's ass.
Ooh.
So let's take him and let's take Ben Affleck's Batman.
Okay. I think you beat the shit out of Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. That's just my thoughts. Because I mean, he played Punisher really gritty and really tough. For now, I have yet to see Batman really turn that corner and not to be a killer, but just to be like that tough, real, just like Gotham Batman that we all know.
Well, he had a rather high kill count in Batman v Superman. I mean, he had no qualm about shooting,
Well, the way I see it is, like he played the Punisher as more of a actual realistic character, whereas Batman, I mean, as much as he had a kill count, he was he was still kind of cartoony. You know what I mean? That's I think part of the problem that DC has a little bit is just that they're still kind of a little bit cartoony with what they do. And I think when you have the series that revolve around like the more human characters, just with abilities. They tend to make them more, relatable to just regular people. Like Daredevil, you can relate to. I mean, obviously, none of us are, blind, kung fu masters or whatever. But I mean, you actually can relate to his problems because he's had so many flaws and throughout the show, he's been beaten like 3 or 4 separate times. So it's just like that's where I think that you see the difference. So it's just like. For me, I think Jon Bernthal would beat the hell out of his Punisher would beat up Ben Affleck's Batman, no doubt.
I will disagree.
I was waiting for that.
Just because Affleck's Batman seems like he's the more grizzled. Like I've been through all this. I've lost to Robin. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like he would take Bernthal out in a matter of seconds and just be like, no, we're not even doing this. But. It's like I'm done. But we're going to get really close to seeing this played out on screen with Affleck's new The Batman movie because Deathstroke is going to be the bad guy. Pretty close to a Punisher character,
Yeah.
So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was. I look. Don't throw tomatoes at me. I just started season 2 of Deadpool. I mean, Daredevil. Sorry. So I am a little bit behind, but I did see in that first episode all the where all the gangsters got shot up, and I just assumed immediately that was the Punisher. So the guy appears, if that is, the guy definitely appears to be extremely rugged. With his attitude, I think that he might get over on Batman, and here's why. Because I see a guy like Punisher playing dirty. Like, dirty to the point where he might even realize who Batman is and just go shoot up the Batcave. I mean, who knows?
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I think once he figured out who Batman was, I mean, you would see him just storm into the mansion, take Alfred, and be like, come out and fight, or I'll blow his brains out. And he would do it. He wouldn't think twice. That's what Batman. That's where you have the difference. But I mean, if it is Dark Knight Batman, though, you're gonna deal with somebody who's, a bloodthirsty Batman who's ready to kill too. So, it would be a great fight. But I still say the Punisher will win.
But how does the Punisher win? Does he use a gun? Because Batman's bulletproof.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
and
I mean,
that's
Drops an
great.
atomic bomb on the
Right?
back.
I mean, that's pretty much what you got to do. You got to like nuke the mansion.
Actually, I like Jackie O's answer. Only Frank Miller knows. That's true. I
Yeah.
think he wrote that book somewhere.
Yeah, that is a good answer.
You'd have to
I mean,
use some bunker busters to get down deep into the Batcave, though.
But have y'all read Batman Punisher?
No, I actually never got a chance to.
Yeah, you can skip it.
Oh,
Take your advice, man.
Well, if you're gonna read it, read the Marvel version, because the DC version is they did it around the time Batman had his back broken, so it's Azrael Batman.
Jean Paul Valley.
But the Marvel guys didn't get that memo, and they were like, "Okay, so we're just gonna draw like Michael Keaton looking Batman."
oh.
Like the black suit with the yellow, like that was it. So those are the two books you get to choose from, and if you want to see that team up or fight, it's more of a team up.
Yeah.
Maybe if I give it a $1 bin or 25-cent bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Biggie's says, yeah, it's Azrael Batman versus Punisher. So he's agreeing with you.
Mm-hmm. No good.
So we just put up an article actually on Comic Books about Batman, and we're just talking about Robin and stuff. There's some people who are vying for that part, and one of them is Anna Kendrick, female.
Yeah. She wants to be a Robin.
Yeah, which was from The Dark Knight Returns, right? That's where
Yep.
she came out first. So what do you think about that? If you don't like that option, Anna Kendrick, that is, who do you think would be a good Robin?
I mean, I think she could play the role. She also I heard express interest in wanting to be Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So
Yeah.
She did.
yeah, so that would be. I mean, she's kind of a weird character, a weird choice. I think. I mean, I think she'd do it well, but I think she, what if any type of action scenario have you ever seen her in? I mean, all I know is she's sing, like I've seen her as like a supporting character in Scott Pilgrim. For the people that like the Twilight thing, I know she's in there. And then my wife likes Pitch Perfect, so she's in Pitch Perfect. So it's just like she sings, hangs out with vampires, and she's Scott Pilgrim's sister. I don't know where you get Robin out of that, but I mean, I figure if she's enthusiastic enough, that must mean that she is a comic fan, so she wants to do it. So I feel like allowing a fan to do it, she's going to do the best she can, and she'll do a great role. So I figure she would be a good choice since she's so enthusiastic for it.
Yeah, she really is. Joe Manganiello is like, yeah, let's give her a shot.
Yep.
But what do you guys think?
She must really want to be in a superhero movie if she's like going from Squirrel Girl to Robin.
Well, I mean, she just wants in. Why not? It's a new cool thing to do. Be a superhero.
Yeah, might as well. Maybe she is a fan. Maybe like somebody in her family is, and maybe pushing her to do it. But I could see that doing it. I don't know. Since we already have the one Robin costume in the Batcave that the Joker spray painted or whatever, when would they introduce her though? And I wouldn't even mind if they did maybe they did like her as not even Carrie Kelly. They could do her as like Stephanie Brown or something. Stephanie Brown was a Robin also. Well, she was a Robin also.
Well, that you could put Tim Drake in that role too. I mean, if you have Tim Drake, you could also put her as Spoiler or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
There's a ton of female Bat characters, even like Bluebird, Harper Row. Like there's that are current that they could move her into, but I don't know if they would.
Or even Huntress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Huntress would be cool.
No, I don't see her. Huntress is like a female Punisher.
Yeah.
So I don't see Andrew Kendrick being that. Like I don't see that in her eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see her as being like Squirrel Girl or like a Robin and being like kind of quippy and everything with everybody, but I don't see her being like super serious and killing.
Yeah, I think having a female Robin would be too much of a liability because Batman would be. I mean, it's just natural as a guy you tend to worry about, women. That's just how God, I guess, created us. But I think Damian would be more interesting. That whole dynamic of father and son, and then him. Having this whole mentality of being trained by the
League of Assassins.
Yeah, League.
League of Assassins. So I mean I think that would be way more interesting. Plus, we already know Damien. He'll kill you. Like, that's just how he is. So trying to keep him from killing, that's kind of like, more intense. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah. Big E said Orphan, or aka Cassandra Cain.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Orphan would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
my favorite Batgirl.
Isn't she also very like serious and kill-tastic as well? Because
she's mute for the most part.
I see.
So she doesn't ever talk. That's why her Batgirl mask didn't have a mouth hole.
Yeah.
I see.
And that would solve a lot of the issues you guys have with Hannah Kendrick.
Yeah, true. If you put that mask on her, wouldn't bother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Well, they could, maybe switch some of the genders. They did that with Tilda Swinton, right? The ancient one was like an old Tibetan man.
Yep.
Now it's like it's a sort of younger
But
Celtic character.
well, I can kind of I don't. Is it really that, or is it just the ancient one appears however they want to be, whenever they want to be, whatever they want to be?
Potentially, that could be too. Because I mean,
No,
yeah, I'm gonna be
Feige said it's a Celtic interpretation
okay.
of the character.
Well,
So
Did y'all hear the Feige what he said about Captain Marvel
no.
and how she will be the most powerful character in the Marvel universe,
Really?
like superhero wise?
Okay, I was about to say because
I don't think she's Thanos level.
I was about to get real upset. Like, no, is she gonna come and punch Thanos in the face and that's it for him?
Of anybody related to Earth, she will be the most powerful.
That's cool.
Which is for me, it's like fine. Let's do that and let's have it be done in the books too. Let's finally have like a character be like, nope, I'm it. I'm the Superman of Marvel, and it can be a woman, and that's fine.
I thought they had done that with Blue Marvel and Century. Yeah.
And who else we got? We got Hyperion.
Yeah, and Gladiator.
Gladiator. I mean, so one of them just be like, nope, I'm it. And I would be fine if it was her.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, too, like, I always feel like Captain Marvel had the ability to be that, really strong and crazy character. I just always think that, like, and really when you look at it, too, I mean, Captain Marvel was, like, Thanos, the original, what was Thanos' like, thorn in his side for a while. It's just like, so I feel like, Captain Marvel, that character, I mean, having that mantle gives you just, that type of power. So, it could be pretty cool.
yeah.
No pressure on Brie Larson there or anything.
Yeah, right. I think this is a good time. We kind of touched on the movie briefly, but Doctor Strange, it's coming out in a couple weeks, right? So early predictions are coming for box office. Anywhere from 55 to 75 million is kind of the range. It's a 20 million range. I originally said, and I agree with this, it may be a little bit higher too. My prediction is 80 million. So what we're going to do, and we said this at the beginning, but for the people in the chat, we're going to take some predictions for the movie, what we think it's going to be for opening weekend, and we'll take it from there at a later show. It's a fun thing to do. Make it a contest, and whoever wins, I'll actually send them a couple books. Woo. So we get something in the pot this time, not just a Marvel no prize. So my prediction is 80 million. Okay. And what we can do is, obviously the panel here, but you guys in the chat too, if you want to throw in a prediction as well, I'll put you in for this too. So, all right. You want to take it? Anybody?
When does it open? November 8th?
4th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first weekend there.
It's first Friday.
So it's up against basically Trolls, which is going to be a very younger demographic, not what this is targeting. Yeah. And then Hacksaw Ridge, which is
war movie.
The war movie, yeah, by Mel Gibson, which again, that's going to be probably an older demographic than what this is. So there's not much competition there.
Which has a former Marvel actor as its lead.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield.
That's right.
What do you think, Chris? Edwin?
It's not near a holiday. Well, it's near election day, which is what, the 8th, I think.
Yeah, it's the Tuesday after.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be around a time where there's going to be people taking some days off and things like that, but not a holiday on the day to take people away from the theater. So I think it has a lot playing in its favor to be up towards the higher end of that range. So,
well, you look at it, and I mean, you also have to factor in though too. You know, if it's still going to be going, I mean, it's probably going to see another jump for sales third week when you get to Thanksgiving too. Just because I mean, people do after they eat, sometimes go to the movies or just take that, So
it's one of the few things open that day.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that first week, I'm gonna stay conservative, and I'm gonna say 77 million. That's what I think they're gonna do first week, 77. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it does huge numbers so that we can keep this beast that is Marvel movies going and get some other characters out there.
Mm-hmm.
77 is my vote.
All right, I got you down for that. We have a couple. While you guys are marinating over that, we have a couple guesses here in the chat. So Igula said 87 million. Jackie O's at 98.7. Blackpool said 73. So that's the lowest so far. Still on the higher end of that predicted range. Well, opening weekend, not just the first week. Keep in mind also they're really leveraging 3D and IMAX sales for this movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to give it a boost too.
Oh man, when they start moving that city around like Inception, if you don't have a strong stomach, you make, oh god, I can't watch this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminds me of, is Inception.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I get, and this is just what I feel when it comes to Doctor Strange. Number one, I've never been a Doctor Strange fan ever. The only reason why I'm going to go see it is because, like Chris said, these Marvel movies are beast, and they're just so hot right now. Everybody sees them. I mean, even X-Men Apocalypse, which I think was probably the lowest grossing Marvel film in the past couple of years, a lot of people went and saw it. There was still mixed reviews. But my thing is, I don't think a lot of people are very familiar with Doctor Strange. And I think that that's going to probably be challenging for it to rise to like a box office weekend, like 100 million plus. I agree. Iculus is pretty close to what I was thinking. I was thinking about 85. And I think it's just going to be one of those things where word of mouth is going to help carry it. And just like what Chris said, as it gets closer to the Thanksgiving weekend, because I was looking at the movie list, and there's not really a whole lot coming out 3 weeks or so after that. So it could maintain some momentum for like the first 3 or 4 weeks. But opening weekend, I'd have to say about 85 mil.
Yeah. 85, all right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's a very, very different Marvel movie, right? They haven't really done much with the magical and the mystical. So, and like you said, it's not really been like, a flagship sort of character. So not many people are really as versed on Doctor Strange. But, it's something interesting. Iron Man 2 came out in, 2010?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's when they first referenced Stephen Strange. So he's kind of been, it was obviously just that and then nothing, but he's kind of been in the MCU for 6 years now. So
yeah, is that when Nick Fury comes in? He's like, oh, Stephen. And I think he's like,
yeah,
it's either him
They're
or
up on the rooftop.
Yeah, he's like, Stephen Strange is doing some great things with surgery. Like that's when he's still a surgeon. So but yeah, they said his name. So
yeah,
man.
But they just had a little teaser thing, and they have like the end credit, one of the songs for it that they released. It's like really trippy and psychedelic and just weird, but cool.
I like Mr. Unknown Comics guy. His is like absolutely to the T there. $81,696,969.
Wow.
Do you guys think that the Harry Potter fans and the Lord of the Rings fans would gravitate toward a Doctor Strange movie?
That's kind of tough to say, just because when you say a Harry Potter, I mean that's definitely within the realms of magic, but it's a different type of magic. I think that theirs wasn't as occult as this will be. So I don't know. I mean, I think some will. I think some, may stay away just because it's not the same. Like Harry Potter, even though the later ones got more serious, it was still kind of just it was more or less a easygoing movie, like with kids and stuff like that. Lord of the Rings, that's really you're straight out fantasy, like orcs and stuff like that. So I don't think you're gonna see them kind of really cross over too much into that. I think you'll see maybe a little bit from the Harry Potter crowd, and maybe even less from the Lord of the Rings crowd.
Yeah, good point. I never thought about the whole kiddie aspect of it, and Doctor Strange would definitely be have more of an adult tone to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something that will give it legs too. I know Foggy said that this Doctor Strange is going to be really important going forward for the MCU. Even Avengers 4, I think. So he's going to be a pretty important character. And once people see the movie and whatever they tease for that gets out, I think it's going to draw more people in. But that's obviously not opening weekend. That's going to be overall numbers. But
I'm going to go with like 70 million, just an even 70.
70? All right.
Yeah. I'll put it right in the middle of Captain America, the First Avenger, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right. Perfect. All right, cool. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 9 predictions here. Let me just make sure I got everybody in the chat too. Anybody else want to sound off in the chat with predictions? I'm writing them all down here, so we're going to come back to it.
Yes, Alex the Comic would have said 60 million.
Yep, I got that.
I think you said, and then let's see, yeah, pretty much. I think we're all caught up with those, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to see what people come up with. Or see who comes the closest. I really do feel like that first weekend, probably have a good turnout. But over the life of it, and I guess we'll get into that later on. Like, what do you think it's going to predict to do, all the way down the road? But I feel like like the first weekend, obviously everyone's going to try to see it, and then don't be surprised if that Thanksgiving weekend you don't see another big spike, because it's just like you look at it like I don't go Black Friday shopping, but I would go to the movies and be like, you know what, while you're all shopping, I'm going to go watch this for the second time.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
It's a great idea. It's just like, you know what, potentially theater to yourself, go ahead and, really just sit back and watch the movie, or even just avoid all that crap that's going on outside. Like, you know what, you guys, enjoy your sales. I'm watching Doctor Strange.
Yeah, right. They did a 15-minute like test footage thing, and like it got some crazy reviews for it. But one of the things that was in it, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, there was an Easter egg for the Runaways, the Hulu show.
Really?
They actually showed Nico's staff of 1. But it was a lady holding it, which they're saying is probably Nico's mother.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that they're tying with the movie in to the, what do you call it, Huluverse. I'm going to call it that from now on, Huluverse. But they're not really, they're keeping the Netflix verse separate, but they're going to tie in the Huluverse. I thought that was interesting.
That's funny. I figure Netflix is more the stomping ground where they've had a lot of success. But why not branch out to Hulu? You know what I mean? Why not go ahead and have deals with multiple places if you can? What's going to be funny with that too is that Runaways wasn't a book that I figured would ever really take off or do anything, and now if you're going to put that out there, have a series for it, you're going to see those books kind of go up and everything.
Yeah.
Get some more awareness out there for those characters. So that's pretty cool.
That would be crazy. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Justin. No, go ahead, Justin.
I was just saying, but it would be so easy for them to tie in like Iron Fist or something like that with Doctor Strange. Because of the mysticism with it and where it came from and things like that. So it would be easy for them to have something of Iron Fist in Doctor Strange. Be kind of strange if they didn't.
Pun intended, huh?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have a whole lot to say about this just because, again, I'm not really familiar with Doctor Strange's world. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has some knowledge or familiarity with one or a few of the stones. That's a part of the Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Right.
I
Well,
think
they're
he's gonna
saying
have
we're going to
the
get.
reality stone, right?
I thought we were getting the time stone.
Yeah.
That's why
Time?
they did the video where everything was.
Okay.
You could run it forward or back, and it was the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm gonna see it just because it's a really great time for comic book movies. I do have a strong curiosity toward this film. I just, man, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. He does open up doors for Iron Fist. I think what Justin was saying. But man, I can't really think of who else. See, this just goes to show how ignorant I am when it comes to Doctor Strange. Wow.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of, depending on where they go with like that is an Agents of Shield right now. It does open up Damian Hellstorm to come through. And then also too, the villains you need to watch out for, because I mean, while there's definitely going to be some small times, there's going to have to be another big time villain after Thanos goes. And, people have already said that Mephisto, I guess, is going to have some sort of tie-in pretty soon. And I knew he's going to be, at some point. I think they had said he might be in the Defenders. I don't know how that's going to go, because it's just none of them really have too much. I would say none of them would be able to stand up to him really. But something like Doctor Strange, I could absolutely see if they're going to go more of a magic realm, or just kind of try to introduce magic just into that universe. So it's just you can't have kind of a crossover with Guardians, or even with the Avengers. You have Doctor Strange and now Scarlet Witch that can both I guess be kind of linked into the magic world and how it goes. Kind of like how they did in the Avengers movie, where you open that portal and something very different came out. I think going with magic, you're gonna have something some type of crazy villain or something that you haven't seen come our way, which is a new threat for the Marvel universe that they haven't ever seen before. So
yeah, and maybe they can explain Thor's power in the way it should be.
Yep.
Instead of making it scientific.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. One thing I'm looking forward to with this movie, and I don't think we're gonna get it in this movie, probably Avengers 4, is Stephen Strange meeting Tony Stark.
Oh yeah.
That would be, they're gonna do it. The facial hair bros thing.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be a fun little scene to look forward to.
I mean, I think he's a great knight or rook or however you want to look at it. Doctor Strange, because they're gonna need him to fight somebody like Thanos.
Yeah.
I mean, if Thanos has all those rings, I mean, it's just they're setting the stage up for just this massive film, probably like a Star Wars type of film once all this stuff comes together. So it's definitely exciting, man, for sure. Definitely exciting.
All right, can you guys explain something to me?
Mm-hmm.
Or people in the chat. So you have Rachel McAdams. She's going to be in this movie, and she's going to be night nurse, right? Christine Palmer.
Really?
Yes, but also you have Rosario Dawson from Netflix, and she's Claire Temple, who I thought was also night nurse. So, anybody?
Yeah, because
chat people. Yeah, I was trying to figure out why they were overlapping with a character like that, and I know they did that, with, what was his name, Quicksilver, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Fox, but I don't know, a little bit confused on that one.
Marvel should absolutely own the rights to her. I don't see. I mean, she was never a big part of the X-Men or Fantastic Four continuity. So, I figured that Rosario Dawson was night nurse and that was it. I mean, maybe they're trying to do. Seeing as how you're saying that there's more than one of them, maybe they're trying just to have the cinematic universe one, and then you have the TV universe one. Definitely weird. I don't know why they do two.
Yeah, Jacko said there's 3 different. Yeah, so
like the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whatever happened with that?
They probably figured it's not a good idea, but
they just put a pin in that for later.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We'll just wait.
Yeah. Maybe Rebirth Phase 2, they'll explain it.
Maybe.
All right, so we're waiting on Jack Yo here.
I know that Night Nurse #1 is expensive, man.
Oh yeah.
My shop had like 1 through 4, and I think he wanted like $200 just for the first one, and I didn't even look at it just because I don't want to drop that kind of dime. Yeah, it was raw, but I do know that those Night Nurses are hard to come by.
Yep.
Especially in high grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even know. I mean, that's the type of book that literally, like, I'm sure they, low print run, and no one really probably was even thinking that it was going to amount to anything, and then it's just like, oh, here you go. Just like the What If Jane Foster was Thor, and then all of a sudden, like 30 years later, like, you know what, that's not a good idea. Let's put her, and people are like, shit, I wish I had that still. I really do feel like that's just a really obscure book that I mean, just doing the law of averages, you would have to figure at some point would end up being really rare and would be worth something.
I think Night Nurse is going to die, though.
No, we can't kill a nurse. She's...
Yeah, but that's the best way to bring all of those characters together, because that's their one tie-in point is her.
Oh, okay. So Jackio says that at least 2 work together at some point on shifts, and Strange dated one forever. So that's where Rachel McAdams comes in then, I guess. Dr. Strange's girlfriend.
Yeah, because she was in the ER when he came in with his hand injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
It's all tying together now. What?
Here's a good question. Who's going to end up replacing Natalie Portman as Jane Foster? Because she said that she doesn't want to do that movie. Like, I guess she really doesn't like doing those movies at all.
I don't think they're going to replace her. There just won't be a Jane Foster.
Oh. So
Ronda Rousey?
So Thor would just be like, oh, Jane is off doing mortal things with other mortals, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's definitely, there's no reason for her to be in the new one.
No, I mean, just look at it where it's just like, she's never going to like hang back and say nothing. Because, I mean, you still have Selvig, you still have, Kat Denning, she was in another movie. So it's just like, it's just like, oh, where's Jane? Oh, Jane's getting coffee. Don't worry about Jane.
Or, whatever. Our differences were too great.
Yeah.
What's up, Sif? How you doing, girl? I mean, they could always, they could just be giving her a break, and when Hemsworth takes his Thor break, they could be like, hey, Natalie Portman, do you want to hold the hammer for a couple movies, Yeah.
That sounds nasty.
Yeah,
I just kind of kept going with it. I'm like, this is going to be taken bad, but oh well.
I mean, you could do a lot, though, too, because Enchantress hasn't been put into the movies yet.
Yep.
I know she's in love with Thor. So it's just
Enchantress, isn't she going to be in Ragnarok?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it might be.
Well, speaking of Ragnarok, I picked up a whole bunch of because Ragnarok, I guess, is going to lead with the Planet Hulk with he's got the armor and everything. So I picked up a whole bunch of those. I'm only missing 92 for that story, so I got lucky. One of the local shops had a sale, and I picked up basically half in one burst and then half in the other. So it's just like, just need that number 92 and I'm good.
Oh, the World War Hulk stuff.
Yep.
Nice.
No, the Planet Hulk. I already have World War, but Planet Hulk is the only one that I need is 92. So,
gotcha.
Yep. So that was kind of a cool pickup, and I was happy to get that. I figure Ragnarok is still a little bit off, but it's definitely something to look into, just because they've hinted. I mean, they've shown the armor and everything. So I don't know if if Hulk is going to be in there as showing him on Planet Hulk, and that's the deal, or if it's going to lead into a Planet Hulk movie. But either way, good speculation set of books to get if you can get them.
Yep. Yeah. And also Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, I have his too.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yep. Beta
Ray
Bill.
But rumors. But that's the time to get things, before it's confirmed.
I need Thor 337. Damn it.
I picked up one at a local shop, and then one at the Boston Comic Con for $5, man. I was just like, I saw it and I was just like, $5? He's like, yep. I'm like, sold.
Man. I have my shop actively looking
Pick it
for
up.
that book.
Yeah.
Really?
If they find it, they have to call me.
I said they'll do that for you, man.
I spend enough money
Alex,
there. They should do more.
Yeah, that's the least they can do. Damn it.
You should start shaking people. You have 337. Give it to me now.
You're right. It's like call me because you know I'm going to come give you money for it. You know?
Oh, Justin,
what is
they
that?
walked to the shop. Where did they go out there walked in? Well, I had to sell it. I'm sorry. Like, what about me?
I'll break all of your statues.
Hey, what did you say that first Beta Ray bill was? You said Thor 337.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have
I'm just
338.
gonna see what that's going for.
It depends. Some people are stupid with it. Some people are.
Yeah, it
reasonable.
depends on the day.
One of the
It
local shops
ranges.
that I had nearby in my area, they wanted $40. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing VF to near mint copies in the $20 to $30 to $35 range. So, but on average, they're going for like $15 to $20.
Yeah.
Are those sold prices, or are you looking at list prices?
I'm looking at sold prices on eBay.
I can't ever find any that cheap when I look. Dang.
Yeah, no, that happens to me too. Like, it sucks.
Set your alerts.
Especially.
Yeah.
It really does. That's one of the big stingers of eBay when you look and you can see what things sold for, and it's just like, damn. And it's just like, that one time you missed an affordable. Like for me, it's Silver Surfer number 3, the first Mephisto. And it's just like I had a chance to get it maybe like 3 or 4 months ago for pretty cheap. I think it went off for like $28, and I just completely like just blanked on when I needed to be in front of my computer to go get it. And I haven't seen it that price since. And then since they make an announcement that Mephisto's gonna be in the universe at some point, now it's like just going up and up and up. So it's just like I just gotta wait for it to come down. So
That's
Alex,
a whole-
Alex, the comic hoarder brings up a question. He says that, and I assume he's referring to Natalie Portman. He says that she doesn't want to be in super successful Marvel movies. How Harvard of her, still super sexy, but much a Harvard move. I think about Storm from the X-Men, Halle Berry, and people like what's the guy who directed the X-Men?
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer. I mean, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You're making these super successful, multi-million-dollar, and in some cases, billion-dollar movies. Like, why would you not want to continue to do this? And, like, what's wrong with your ego? Where's your head at? You know what I mean? It's like, these movies, everybody you're seeing these movies. Why would you not want to continue with them?
Rebecca Romaine did that too, I think, right?
Yeah. She I think a lot of it sometimes comes from the fact that, all right, you're in a successful movie, people have seen you, they know who you are, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out there, and maybe they think that basically they're gonna be able to just ride off of that success and be like, dude, I'm gonna be starring in big movies. Watch, I'm gonna be in with De Niro the next movie, and I'm gonna be winning Academy Awards by like the next 5 years. So fuck it, and it's just like sometimes you do see it like that, but other times it's like, what, I mean, you're gonna have to just be real. And it's just like, if you've been doing this for a long time and you haven't made it to that type of thing, like, you're not going to be in features like right away. Even beyond that, there's nothing wrong with making it big off of these kind of movies. I mean, you just have to be, committed to what you do. And if you're good at it, you're good. It doesn't really, it shouldn't really matter at that point. I mean, that's just me saying as a fan. I mean, who knows? Because I mean, I don't know the first thing about acting. I just kind of would walk. If I got to be, mall patron number 5, I'd just be like, okay, and just walk through it. And that's about all I'm good for when it comes to a movie. So,
well, look at what Halle Berry did when she did get an Oscar. And that was her next movie.
Yeah,
like Catwoman. I mean, so she's had her opportunity, and I don't see her, reaching to that kind of level anymore. And you're also getting to the point where you're getting much older. I mean, look at Sharon Stone. I mean, look, so hot. I'm telling you, man, make these movies while you can, because sooner or later you're going to look at yourself. You're going to be 50, 60, 70 years old and be like, dang, I should have did those X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Then you got to be like Ego or something,
Yeah. it is kind of funny when you know, the way you mentioned that, just because a lot of people don't really realize. I think Samuel L. Jackson's probably one of the only ones that breaks that mold. And I mean, when you really see it, though, what does Nick Fury do? He's not really physical in the movies. He just, you know, talks and, you know, gives a bunch of like really like, you know, crazy dialogue and speeches. But I mean, he's one of the only like really older people that, you know, have that kind of role in that movie. And I mean, the thing for him is that, you know, he loves those type of things. So it's just like, you know, he's happy to be doing that, because I mean, it wasn't, you know, if you go back 20 years ago, he was nothing but like, you know, you know, robber in was it Coming to America, or, you know, the radio DJ on this movie, or just, you know, just small pot. I mean, he had done small pots forever. And then it's just like, you know, and then he started getting bigger and bigger, and now he's this huge star. And it's just like, you know, he has Star Wars and you know, the Avengers and all these movies to thank for it. So it's just like, you know, he's always going to be looked on as, you know, just a really awesome actor who, you know, embraces all this type of stuff. I think there are some people that do think they're too good for it. Like maybe they'll just do it because it sounded like fun for the time, or it was, you know, good money at the time. But, you know, in a way too, you know, I don't mind if your heart's not in it, then that's good. Like, give it to somebody who really wants to do it. Like let them do it, because they're going to do a better job than you anyway. I don't care what credentials you came in with before. You know, if you have somebody who's really dedicated to the role, they're going to do a great job.
Yeah, and you make a good point, Chris, because I think the girl who did Storm in the Apocalypse film, I thought she did a great job. I mean, she kind of made me forget about Halle Berry there for a bit. Yeah.
I mean, and even, you know, like I can look at Suicide Squad and say, you know, Amanda, the woman that played Amanda Waller, she was Viola Davis. Like, she was into that role. Like, that was her. Like, she really wanted to do it, and she was amazing. You know, Mark Ruffalo was a way better Hulk. Way better Bruce Banner than Edward Norton was. And it's just like, you know, but Edward Norton also was just like, you know, I'm a big star. I deserve all this money. And it was just like his ego got in the way. And just like they got Ruffalo in there, and Ruffalo was just a 10 times better Hulk than him, because he wanted to do it. So that's my thing, is just like, you know, some people are in it just to, you know, they come in with all these big accolades, and they, you know, think that they're better than the films. And, you know, sometimes they don't do as good a job as the people that, you know, even though they have all this credential, they have these awards and they have all this and stuff. It's just like, you know, you need someone who really knows how to do it. Like Anna Paquin has an Academy Award. And I guarantee you there's probably 50 or 60 different people that you've never heard of that'll play a better Rogue than her. Just because she's not, you know, it's just not her element. It's not what she's about. So.
All right, guys, it is 8:45. You know what that means, right? It'll be 9 in 15 minutes. Yeah. But it's also the time where we do some shout-outs, or, you know, some final thoughts here. So we're towards the end of the show here. We've talked about a lot of things today. We talked about The Walking Dead. We talked about Doctor Strange. We talked about Hulk, predictions for a few different things. So we've had a pretty good, well-rounded conversation here. So I'm keeping all these predictions. Once we get to the other side of Strange's opening weekend and the other side of The Walking Dead premiere, we'll touch on these again. Next week, though, we're going to be really close to Halloween, so I definitely want to talk more about some of the Marvel monsters and stuff. So look forward to that next week. You know, we'll talk about some of the Migos stuff, Monsters Unleashed, the Draculas, and things like that of the world. So that will be next week. But let's go around here and give some final thoughts. If you have any shout-outs, feel free to do that. So,
I'll go first. I'll give a shout out to everybody in the chat, like Iculus, Blackpole, Big E's. Like, really appreciate everybody like commenting as much as you guys have. Mr. Unknown Comics Guy. Some of these people come up with these great names, and you're just like, man, I would have never thought to come up with that, you know. But just really looking forward to everything that's coming out tomorrow. Dark Knight 3 number 6. Is anybody still reading Dark Knight 3?
No, man.
Nope.
I never actually got into it because of the price tag.
Oh, man. It's going to be one of those, like, it's cool to have it, but, man, it's probably just going to be like a great read and trade. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, and that's what I think, too. That's why you know what? I think I'm going to just deal with that and trade. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
Didn't number 1 come out like a year ago?
It feels like it. It really feels like it. Also, while I was thinking about it, we should do an episode soon. Y'all let us know in the chat. An eBay dedicated the ones that got away.
Oh god.
I clicked bid, but it didn't go through.
Yep.
I would be so down for that.
Man, that's the one. So we'll have to bring that in as a segment at some point. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for having me on. Really appreciate talking to everybody. You know, it's great to be back on for season 2.
Wait, I'm looking for the applause thing. Where is it?
No.
Where is it?
Give me the applause.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
All right. I got it.
Oh man.
All right. Edwin, you want to go next?
Yeah, I agree with Justin. I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. ExileState, Mr. Unknown Comic Guy. That might be my first time come across him, but thank you so much for being everybody. Jackie, Big E's, Alex the Comic Order came in one time. Thank you guys for checking in on the chat. We do appreciate everybody. And you know, just shout out to everybody on the panel. It's good to be back. I know that everybody's going to be getting on this whole Halloween, Doctor Strange, Black Friday, lot coming up. Really, a lot coming up for comic book related stuff. So it looks good, and looking forward to doing more in upcoming shows with everybody.
I also want to, you know, just as everyone else has done, you know, shout out to the chat, shout out to everybody on the panel. You know, as everyone else has been really, really fun getting back to this. I'm excited, you know, season 2, kicking it off. You know, also wanted to just shout out to, you know, everybody who's having a contest at this point in time. You know, shout out to everybody who's, you know, just kind of starting out new channels. You know, just, you know, give everybody else some love. You know, go ahead and check out everyone's channels. You know, give people subs, comments, you know, just kind of help grow the community and let everybody have some fun in this. And then just, you know, on top of it all, man, just have fun collecting books. So, you know, just the way I see it, we're all here, you know, for some fun comics. So I like checking out everybody else's collections and everything. So, you know, make lots of videos because I want to be able to watch lots of different stuff and just kind of interact with everyone, have some fun. So thank everybody for watching. And thank you, Jesse, for coming back and having the show again, man.
All right, guys. Yeah, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad to get back to this. Shout out from me to the subscribe button. Everybody subscribe to everybody else. There's you know, I know the channels here in the chat, and there's a lot of really great ones. So if you're not familiar with one, definitely check it out. Really great content, great books. Some good comedy, just good overall people, as you can see from the way they've been interacting and, you know, talking with us. So shout out to all you guys. Like I said, subscribe. So we got good stuff coming up here in the future. But if you don't want to wait till next Tuesday, slide on over to Edwin's channel on Thursday and check out his show there too. Like he said, 5 more episodes for that, so you don't want to miss them. That'll be coming up. What time does it start? 8:30, right?
Yeah,
8:30?
we're doing 8:30 Eastern. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so I guess I will close out with saying, collect what you love, guys. We give suggestions. We talk about books we like. We talk about, you know, the hot books and all that. But at the end of the day, collect what you're interested in and what you love, and you really can't go wrong with that. So that'll do it for this episode. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.